Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Bounty Cast with myself, Josh, aka TrapAllen, and my boy over here, Warbird987, aka Zach. Yep, he had to do it. He had
It's
to
your
do the
boy.
pose. But on this very first episode today, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the final episode of season 2, episode 16, The Rescue of the Mandalorian. We're going to kind of go through, unpack a couple of those things, just kind of discuss, a lot of cool stuff happens. Probably, one of the great Star Wars moments happened in this episode. So, if you haven't watched it, go watch it before we discuss. Otherwise, you can check out the timestamps below because I know we will. I think we're gonna mention something that will be. It's like a post credit thing. It's how Star Wars, Marvel. That's how they all do it now. There's like a post credit thing, and you can always skip and watch the last like 2 minutes, I guess, before you watch the rest. But we're gonna dive right into the very first topic of today
All right.
that my boy Zach has ran out for us, and that is Moff Gideon's comment. And he says Grogu has the potential to bring back order to the galaxy. Zach,
So,
what does that mean to you, man?
that's huge. To me, that's huge. Because if you also notice, the scientist mentions that Grogu has a very high M count, as in midichlorian, as in they
Yeah.
know the science behind the Force. So,
Yeah,
what are they
it's all about
thinking?
the science, right?
Are they thinking that Grogu could be the next Darth Sidious? Could Grogu be the next Emperor?
Could grow.
He
Well,
might have been.
I don't even think it's. I don't even think it's that. I think they could see Grogu as the next Jedi to rise. I mean, they right. I mean, currently, spoiler for another topic. Luke Skywalker returns here, but I'm just saying, if you're looking at how Grogu's kind of hanging with the Mando. I mean, he could be the next big threat to the Imperial Remnant. So that's how I kind of see it.
See, I was thinking like that's why they wanted to kidnap him. They kidnapped him so they
Yeah.
could control him, turn him to the dark side. Because we've already seen him use the Force choke, which I think
Yeah.
was huge. So
Yeah, but then again, if you really want to talk about force choke, I mean, look at that scene when Luke's approaching the blast doors, which we'll also talk about today in our little joke segment. But I mean, Luke squeezed the shit out of what's
that's
his
cool.
face, one of those the Death Troopers. So I mean, I don't say that. I don't think like a force. I guess even if you want to call it a grip, I don't even think that is necessarily a choke. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Stormtroopers aren't people, anyways, right? They're losers. They
yeah. They're
deserve
just
it.
extras, aren't they? Okay, okay. So I think that's fair. So we're kind of on opposing sides. I think that's fair. If you guys have different thoughts on maybe what you think that means, go ahead, leave a comment below or whatnot. Just kind of
Yeah.
let us know your thoughts. So jumping right into topic number 2, the
Yeah, and
concept.
the top. Oh, you're gonna go. Okay, I don't know if we're rotating or not.
Okay, no, I was just
Sorry,
gonna,
you're good.
I'll cut it.
You go. You're all you. You're
So,
all you, baby. You're all
all
you.
right, number 2, the Darksaber must be won in battle for the Mandalorian that wields it
Yeah.
to have control of it. What do you think of
Yeah.
that?
I mean, to be completely honest with you, though, if you really think about it, I mean, it's just the Mandalorian culture thing.
Yep.
I think it's pretty closed and shut. It's not like, oh, what could the mystery be? It's like they're all about the honor and they're warriors. I mean, it's just typical. I think that's a closed and shut. Doesn't surprise me. But I mean, it could cause a little,
A little bit of a
Panic at the
rift.
Disco later on. But I think for right now, it's a pretty closed and shut. We'll have to see next season what that comes of. So
Yeah, I guess that's true. So I guess we just got to kind of look forward to seeing what comes of this because, I
yeah,
can't imagine her being too happy with Din Djarin, ruling Mandalore. I
yeah.
don't think, with her being
I
royalty and
mean,
everything,
yeah, she's literally
probably not.
Satine's sister. I mean, for everyone
Yeah,
who has seen the Clone Wars, and for those who
fantastic
have
show.
not, it's fantastic. But I mean, it's 7 seasons, and if you haven't seen it, the Queen of Mandalore is I mean, she's the queen, but isn't she like Princess Satine? But she's I don't
I
know.
think so. It's
Anyways,
weird.
but Satine. Bo-Katan, who appears in the show, she's the sister of the Queen of Mandalore, and Satine unfortunately is murdered during when Darth Maul and Death Watch take over. And convenient enough, Death Watch is also how Din Djarin became a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Convenient
which
enough,
is
since he's a child of the
wild.
Watch. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's really like in there together. To really unpack there. So I mean, I guess it's only going to play out. It
That's
leaves
true.
a lot of possibility, but
Yeah.
we'll
So
have
I
to
guess
see.
let's just kind of see how that plays out. So, Josh, if you want to take it away with the next topic there.
The next one. This is more of just a comment from you in your notes here, but Death Trooper return scene being all badass. I mean, they are badass,
Yep.
but as much as I feel like the Death Troopers are cool, I think this plays right into the next one, and that's Luke's return. When that X-wing flies on in, and you're like, and Grogu's like, what the hell? You're just like, bro. You're like, come on.
Something's going
Like,
down.
there's no way. There's no way. One of the monoliths of the Star Wars galaxy comes rolling in there, and he struts in.
Big
I mean,
baddie.
if you look at Din Djarin's fight with the Death Troopers, and he just gets absolutely thrown out. And,
He can't do
and
shit.
Luke just walks in and flawlessly. I think the only time I saw Luke ever in trouble is when that one Death Trooper grabs his arm and he just destroys him. He just takes him out right there on the bridge, and I mean, I think that's one of the more epic. I mean, even Luke Skywalker in the past. I mean, when you think about it, Luke is kind of whiny for about a movie and a half, but to see him, in that period between, becoming that serious Jedi Master, like that really cynical, self-hating guy.
Green milk drinking.
Green milk drinking grandpa.
Straight from the titty.
No, it's not green milk. Is it green milk? I thought it's blue milk.
I'm pretty sure it's like green blue. It's like a teal-ish.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's teal milk, whatever you want to call it. It's whatever Disney.
Terrible job,
$8.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever Disney charges you $8 for in Star Wars Galaxy Edge, but they're gonna probably DMCA us for that. Like, how dare you talk about our prices, you jackass? But anyways,
we can talk about it.
but no, I think that you kind of see that that's the Luke that's rebuilding the Jedi Order right there, and you can see it, and it was really cool.
Yeah, he's so badass. It's like you said, we finally get to see that version of him in between the end of Episode 6 and the unfortunate sequels. You know? You get to see him at his prime, and it's just amazing.
It's on prime, loose. But hey, here's the thing. I remember if you and I talked about this beforehand, but I saw it on a TikTok actually, where Luke and Leia. Oh, excuse me. That scene where Luke and Leia are training, and they feel that disturbance in the Force. Did we talk about that?
I don't think we did, but that's a good point.
So there's a part in one of the new movies where Luke and Leia are training, and they have a disturbance in the Force, and this person on TikTok had set it up and said, what if that's when Grogu reaches out to the Jedi through the Force, and that's when Luke's like, okay, I gotta go. I mean, that's the same age. They are the same age. It's at the same time. I mean, honestly, so I could see John Favreau. It's Favreau, right?
Favreau, I don't know. I think Favreau.
I think it's French or something. But anyways, that could be Jon Favreau saving at least one scene out of the Johnson Abrams calamity that is. What numbers are there? I don't even know what numbers there are. It could
7, 8, and 9.
It could be like 20, 26, and 35. I don't know. It's whatever Star Wars that we don't. I know Zach doesn't want to count them as what's it called, as a canon.
They're
but
less
unfortunately,
canon than legends to me.
Unfortunately, we have to look at it because Disney was very specific in saying that all the new Disney stuff is on that canon. So
bad.
It's unfortunate that it's bad canon. But I mean, did you see those new drawings of Yoda from High Republic? That's a different topic for a different day. But at least he looks cool. Yoda's like 700, not 900. But...
Oh man, in his prime. Huh.
Yeah, Prime Yoda, still a trainer, but yeah. So I mean, moral of the story: the Luke thing was so damn cool. I had goosebumps. I watched that scene 4 times in a row today.
I got goosebumps
I put on, but I mean, I think we're gonna go. I'm gonna jump off this topic just because it's like we could keep going on and repeating the same thing. Because I mean, it was so cool. If I just said that 20 more times, everyone would just keep agreeing because it was awesome. But definitely the best episode of this season, just on that Luke Skywalker moment. Yeah. And then let's not forget R2-D2 rolls up, dude, and does his little dance. I mean, who doesn't like a little R2-D2 banter? And Grogu's like, oh. And I guess one more comment on that too is with Cara Dunn's face, she's like, she knows exactly who he is. She's like that's Luke Skywalker.
Yep.
That is Jedi Master, Grand General, whatever you want to consider Luke Skywalker. Awesome. That is Luke Skywalker, the guy who destroyed the Empire. Yep. And And Din is just like, "Are you a Jedi? Are you a sorcerer?" And he's just like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm surprised you don't know who I am." So, but
Yeah.
I feel like Din Djarin isn't on Twitter, so I mean, he probably
Yeah.
doesn't know what's going on,
He
or
probably isn't.
but no. So I mean, I have a couple other quick little comments for you, or a couple little topics that are a little sillier here, but I mean. Let's discuss blast doors, like we mentioned before. I mean, are blast doors truly as effective as they make them out
Worst
to be?
invention in the galaxy. I mean, my God, when the Jedi are around, they can cut through them. When the Dark Troopers are around, they can punch through them. Apparently,
Yeah.
you think like they might have increased the thickness another inch or two. I feel like maybe that could have helped them out. I don't know. Maybe had some interlocking bolts.
Think about any blast door in any Star Wars movie or in the Clone Wars. They're easy to hack.
Yeah.
They're easy to break. They're easy to blow up. I mean, they could get ripped open. I mean, literally, what's the point of having a blast door? Why don't you just put in a nice set of like double oak doors? Might as well make it look nice.
Why even do that? Why not just do the force field doors that like in Episode 1 where Maul was separated with Qui-Gon,
or Episode 3. And Episode 3 when they trap Anakin and Obi, literally they actually have technology that works. Like, think about it. Whenever you watch them, whenever they have any of the force door or force field doors, or there's a specific name. I said it earlier. I was watching Episode 1 today, and I literally said it. I can't remember, but it's like they literally have that technology everywhere, and every time they use it, it works, and it works on
it
Jedi.
Works great.
But and you can't hack into it because there's nowhere to hack into. And then they're like, "Oh well,
blast doors." Somebody, cool. The chief engineer at the blast door company, definitely has ties to some pretty powerful ties, because there's no way he would have a job still.
Dude, he's got some connections in at the Kuwait shipyards and the Mon Calamari shipyards and the drive yards. He's got it all. So
he's got connections.
And another thing I noticed is, like, does Grogu take a bath? I mean, what does Grogu smell like? Because I mean, I assume that Din Djarin doesn't smell that good either, because he's always got the same stuff on. But I mean, even like Grogu, like he's a little kid. I know he's 50, but technically in that species, he's still like a kid. I mean, he probably smells like shit.
I've never seen anybody bathe him. I've never seen a little Baby Yoda sponge bath. It's always.
And exactly. I mean, who knows, dude? Who honestly knows? Like, that kid's probably just running around. He's stinking. Luke probably like picks him up, and he's just like, it's like, Jesus Christ. I guess Mandalorians aren't known for their hygiene, so.
It's a damn good thing you're good at combat, because your hygiene skills are horrible. That's when R2-D2 does his classic noise, like the wow.
Yeah, like screaming because he's like, this kid smells like shit.
Even the droid can tell how bad he smells.
Exactly. Oh, dog.
Just a thought.
And and so I guess I mean, off of the jokey comments, I guess taking what's the word I'm looking for? Taking a page out of the Marvel book. That if you didn't see this, again, you could go back and watch. It's literally like 1 minute, this clip. But post-credit scene, we got Boba Fett strutting in to Jabba's palace.
Yep.
Him and Fennec, I believe, walking in, taking everyone out, and him popping a squat on that throne. And announcing December 2021 Boba Fett. So I know they were going to make a Boba Fett, or at least Bounty Hunter movie. And I thought it was going to be around Boba Fett. And so they have officially announced that is coming. Thank God. It's going to be, I think it's the last of the Star Wars stories, because they did Rogue One, they did Solo, and I think Boba Fett was the next one. And so I thought Boba Fett was supposed to be this year, but because of COVID, they didn't film it. So next year, December, is going to be Boba Fett. So that's going to be real sweet. And I'm glad they have the same actor. I mean, they definitely need to get him back. They need to get him like a Planet Fitness gym membership or something. Because we all agree. We saw those episodes. When he put that armor on, Boba Fett is a chunky monkey. He needs to hit the gym. I mean, at the same time, he's a badass. But
glad the armor still fits.
Yeah. So good thing he got a size up. So.
Yeah, and I think my current thoughts are with that, so, the Hutts are known throughout the galaxy as being criminal overlords. They run the underworld. Mm-hmm. Is Boba gonna get involved in that criminal underworld? I mean, we've seen him play more of a good guy role in the Mandalorian, but we know with his past, he's in it for a quick buck, so
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't
I
even
don't
call it a quick buck kind of thing. I mean, Boba Fett. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell because I mean, those people really screwed him over. They let him die or
yeah.
die in that Sarlacc pit, and
Yeah.
they did not go looking for him, and so
Nope.
it could be some blood. I don't see Boba Fett as a long-term money man. I see him as a dine and dasher. He's like Han Solo, he does a couple jobs. That's just how he does it. He has a couple long-term big contracts, but outside of that, it's like he's not. I don't want to say he's not a leader in a negative way. I just say that's just not his gig. Boba Fett's he's a solo guy. He has Fennec now, so he has like a side. He's like that side, like an assistant kind of thing. But
Maybe.
I just don't see him. I see him going
bounty
out on like a
hunter.
vendetta.
He's
It's
a bounty
vendetta
hunter
thing.
though. He's a bounty. That was his whole character.
Yeah,
Is
but
he's a
bounty
bounty
hunters
hunter.
aren't these long-term people. They're not, sitting high and.
I mean,
think
they
about
are
what.
looking for the money though. They're constantly looking for the money.
That's true. Well, wherever the money's at, it's where Boba's going. So.
Ooh, actually, while we're on the topic of Boba, the scene where they walk into the bar with the two Mandalorians sitting there and they straight up call him out. You're not a Mandalorian. I love that scene. Holy cow, that was so good.
He's straight up like, I know, I'm not.
You're a clone. And then when she's like, I've heard your voice millions of times. That part gave me goosebumps.
Oh, it's throwing back. It makes you instantly think of the Clone Wars. She fought alongside the clones and trying to capture Maul when the Syndicate was in charge of Mandalore.
So good,
bro. I mean, that was harsh, dude.
Like,
I was just like,
yeah, that was brutal.
Man.
That was.
But I mean, I wonder if that. I don't even know. Maybe that's like a double thing too. Like I know she says like, oh, she fought along with those clones. But I wonder if part of her, because the clones have occupied Mandalore after, I wonder if part of it's like she hears his voice. It's like a hatred thing. Like, God, I hate the clones so much. Like that. Like it's almost like a not race. It's not racism, but like a thing. Like, God, I hate clones so much. They helped me, but then they took over my planet, and now here I am in a dive bar on some third world planet over here, and it's not a third world country. It's only a third world.
It's just a third world.
Over here, I'm over here, drinking on this crappy liquor, and here comes this guy. But
I think that's fair. So, one last thing that I do want to talk about before we end the episode, I think, is Mando removing his helmet for Grogu's goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry, I saw that and I completely glazed over it. Might be no. What's your opinion on it, dog?
I thought that scene was extremely important, just in the overall development of Jin's character.
Yeah,
because,
I completely agree.
Yeah, he goes from completely, he's a complete lone wolf. He doesn't want to be with anybody. He's all, nobody sees me without my helmet. And then when little baby Yoda, little Grogu is saying goodbye,
sorry, take it off.
He's like, I'm gonna show him my face, And then he starts crying as Baby Yoda was going away. I was like, damn.
Well, I think it's such a larger, just outside of him being a softie for little Grogu there. I think it shows you it's a complete, almost like deconstruction. I might be using deconstruction the wrong way here, but deconstruction of that original character that you're introduced, episode 1, season 1, because you have to look at it like he's Night Watch, or Death Watch. He's a total traditionalist. I don't take my helmet off. If I say this, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if I die. I'm all about the symbolism. And even in the last episode, when Mayfield asks it, he has to take his helmet off to locate the ship for Grogu. So I mean, most people could be like, "Oh, well, he's just doing it to find Grogu." Well, I mean, at the same time, it's like he would have not. I mean, season 1, even if Grogu, he would have tried to find a different way. I think it's a breakdown of that traditionalist, especially when he's with Bo-Katan more often now. Yep. I think he's kind of like, I'm a Mandalorian, but at the same time, it's like, you're right. This traditionalist kind of crap is kind of stupid. I like the I need to hunt. If I make my word, the word thing is all the Mandalorians are like that. They're all about their word and being honest and stuff. But at the same time, it's like if you're talking, the face thing. I think it's a big thing in this character development. I'm really curious. I mean, where do you think this is gonna go? Where do you
So-
think Mando's gonna show up?
Hmm.
See episode 17, first episode of season 3. Is Mando waking up in his brand new shiny ship? Is he riding in the cruiser with Car and Bo-Katan heading to Mandalore? Where are they going? Where do you think he's going?
I'm thinking he's going with Bo-Katan. I think that with with Grogu gone, and I don't really see him returning to that bounty hunter life, because I feel like having Grogu there has kind of made him grow accustomed to not necessarily being a lone wolf, and he's grown to rely more on, like, to trust people, to be able to rely on them to take care of stuff. And so I think he's going with Bo-Katan.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't he make a whole? Doesn't she, like, literally in this episode too? I can't remember the exact phrasing, but isn't she just basically, "Well, once this is over, you're coming with me, right?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like, I think, doesn't he say, they have a conversation? I mean, that's exact. I mean, obviously that's paraphrasing to the nth degree there, but I mean, I think he's like said, I'm coming with you, and I think his next goal is to free Mandalore, because I think, breaking that tradition at the same time, again, whatever all the Mandalorians agree with, we need a free Mandalore, and I think that's where he's headed next. He's gonna head to Mandalore with Bo-Katan. They're gonna take the cruiser. They're gonna try and liberate. I think that's the next step. I don't know if I see Grogu fitting back in right away. I trust Jon Favreau. I trust him.
Yep.
That's really hard for me to say as a Star Wars fan of the last 5 years. Ryan Johnson's pooped in my mouth, and J.J. Abrams peed in my face. And it's hard. And I mean, Kathleen Kennedy. Regardless of I don't want to sound like a politician here, but the direction she's went with the Force is female, Force is this, we got to make it Star Wars super diverse. I mean, when you think about, when it comes down to it, they try to really push a lot of social messages into those Star Wars movies, which I think really ruined a lot of plot development. And I mean, this is a little off topic. This is not Mandalorian at all, but especially Finn, and even John Boyega said it. He was pissed because he's like, they destroyed my character development because all of a sudden Rey needed to be. Because, I honestly didn't mind Finn. Finn was pretty chill in the first movie. He's this guy. He breaks from the stormtrooper ranks, and he's trying to figure shit out. And I'm like, he's the typical, he really relates, especially with a lot of younger fans rather than the older fans, trying to figure yourself out and, some crazy stuff. So it relates well. But all of a sudden, he just becomes some second banana to Rey, because all of a sudden Rey becomes the best pilot, the best fighter, the best shooter, the best tech, the best this, the best that, and it's it
didn't give her any time to grow into that. It's just that's who she was. You compare her to a character like Ahsoka, for example, who throughout the series of the Clone Wars literally went from one of the most hated characters in Star Wars to one of everybody's favorites.
I love Ahsoka. Well, here's the difference. Ahsoka developed.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with my girlfriend. She hates Star Wars, but I told her this anyways because I want to talk it out because I like to talk about it. So we can just timestamp it right here. This is the Ahsoka conversation.
This is Ahsoka.
I think that Ahsoka is so likable now is because, like you mentioned, Ahsoka started, she's a naive, bratty kid. I mean, especially if you want to count this Clone Wars Star Wars movie was the first time we saw Ahsoka prior to the Clone Wars TV show, and she's bratty and she's arrogant. She's like, oh, I can do this and that. And as time has gone on, even though I feel like some people, especially when you get season 7 of the Clone Wars, people are like, oh, I don't know how much I liked the sisters and that kind of caveat into the story. I think it shows, or it's meant to highlight Ahsoka's development as as a person.
Yeah. And
Ahsoka really matures, and even into the we watch The Mandalorian when she shows back, Ahsoka develops so much from again that place where she's young, she's just throwing it all out there because what do you have to lose to that concise strategist, what do I need to do to accomplish A to B, and just that navigating, especially that post Clone Wars. I mean, navigating all that, and so I mean, I think Ahsoka's character is so relatable, and I like her character. And Ahsoka also is not a flashy I'm strong because I'm a woman. It's not that typical social message that a lot of media is trying to push in right now. Again, I don't want to get political, but it is a common theme now where they want to try and push a lot of that stuff in there. And I think Ahsoka's strength comes from her development. And she didn't just develop in one day. That's the other big thing.
No.
Ahsoka didn't develop in 3 movies. Ahsoka developed over seasons, and she grew as a
Yep.
as a person, and grew in so many aspects and became so independent. And it's just like, and you kind of watch Ahsoka go from, a younger kid to like an adult.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Ahsoka's just the way they developed her over such a long period of time that it worked. It's the same thing, kind of how like Luke Skywalker develops. Again, his was over 3 movies, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like there's a lot more development shown. With Rey, it's like you only really see Rey in action sequences, and
Yep.
she just flip flops so much. Like she shows up to Luke Skywalker in which one? The end of 7 and beginning of 8,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden she becomes this incredible Jedi Master. She didn't go through Luke goes through all that training with Yoda. He goes to Dagobah.
Yeah, with the
goes through
Grandmaster. The Grandmaster of the
And
Jedi
I get that
Order.
Luke is technically like the Grandmaster at that point. So I'm not gonna try and discredit Luke in that situation, but at the same time, it's like you're just like, how did Rey all of a sudden become this incredible Jedi?
Yeah.
And I like some of the breakdowns of the fight scenes for Rey's fighting is just really like unchoreographed. That might just go down to acting. But if we're calling it canon Disney, that means Rey is not a good lightsaber duelist at all either. So, especially compared to Kylo Ren should have,
always
killed her up and down the street.
Yeah.
I mean, he did always beat her, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. We can get into that. We can get into why I hate 7, 8, 9, and everybody will agree. And,
Yeah, we can definitely do that in a different.
That's
episode.
a rabbit hole for a different Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like what
'Cause that's a lot.
I know it may be a good idea for the future too is we could all go through the pros and cons of every movie.
That'd be fun.
Let's do it. But yeah,
All right.
so that's all I have on that real large caveat and deviation from topic. But Mandalorian final episode 16, season 2. Zach, what are you thinking? Good.
Okay.
What are you rating at? 1 to 10.
1 to 10. Honestly,
You're saying 11. I'm gonna come over to your house and punch
nope,
you.
I was
So
gonna say a 9 or a
no.
10. I honest to God think that is one of my favorite Star Wars pieces of Star Wars media that I've ever seen. The build-up was perfect. The reward after the build-up was worth it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was it was predictable to an extent, but
Well,
amazing.
we knew
Yeah,
that
we
a
knew.
Jedi was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know when that was gonna happen. The fact that it was Luke Skywalker
Yeah,
that shows up,
so
and
good.
I was
So
like,
good.
I didn't know that was gonna. I'll be honest with you, and I'm usually a pretty good at guessing when all that stuff's about to happen.
Mm.
But like when that X-wing flew by, I was like, no way. Like really, like I thought maybe Ahsoka, or maybe they were gonna. I thought maybe they'd introduce a newer character because they've introduced a lot of new characters. So I thought maybe they're gonna
They
bring
could've.
someone in new, or maybe like a more discreet older character.
Mhm.
This is another random thing to throw out there, but if you've ever played the Star Wars Force Unleashed games, would have been sweet is if Ram Koda got brought into that. Ram Koda, the man who trusted no clone and had all human garrison, or I don't know if it's all human, but all non-clone garrison, he would be sweet to incorporate into this because he's super big into that side of the thing. So
Oh yeah, would have been sweet. All
it
right.
would have been.
So what do you
I
give
think-
it? What's your rating out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because there's no such thing as perfection, but that was pretty damn close to it. I mean, that was
I
a
can
great
agree.
wrap up of that season. They wrapped it up real good, and I think it leaves a lot to the imagination to going into see. Honestly, I know it's not gonna happen because I'd cry if it did. But let's say they ended Mandalorian right then and there. That
That
2
wraps.
seasons, they wrap it up. They
Yeah.
wrap it up right there. They left
Perfect.
it open to, we know that he's gonna probably go with Bo-Katan, and probably go to Mandalore and do all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like maybe Darth Maul could be a possibility.
could.
I think we're Darth Maul into. Will he be around this time period? I sometimes get the time period mixed up because my brother's like Obi-Wan.
No.
I'm like, no.
No.
Obi-Wan's gone.
So
Whereas
no,
Darth
he wouldn't
Maul-
because Obi-Wan kills him in Rebels.
Yeah, so this will be after Darth Vader. So yes, you're right.
Correct.
You're right.
So yeah.
Sometimes the timelines I really gotta think about.
No, it's okay.
But yeah,
I had to think about it for a second too, so it's all good.
because Ahsoka. Well, that also kind of almost like if you watch Rebels. I know I'm not a big fan of Rebels. A lot of people
Yeah, I
are.
watched it.
I just can't get behind the art style, and because it's kind of really kitted down, I can't get behind it like the Clone Wars. Plus, I'm a huge lover of the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is my favorite Star Wars
era. Like my entire era, yeah.
Oh, I love the Clone Wars, but like, what's it called? I can't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah. Well, someone will get my point, even if I can't remember what it was. Or as far as we'll go back, we'll watch the recording, and there'll be me like, oh, what was I talking about? Oh yeah.
It's just gonna be how it goes. All right.
So, and that's a wrap up. I think that is a good first episode.
I think so too.
To all those who have watched, we greatly appreciate it. The reason that my boy Zach didn't speak as much in this episode is because he has a couple roommates who are still catching up. Fair enough, but we're gonna do this weekend. This weekend we're gonna go through. We might just do a breakdown the whole season, maybe rank some episodes, some best worst moments. And then in the future, we're probably going to look into, like I said, maybe pros, cons of all the movies, maybe a movie ranking. I mean, that's pretty typical stuff other people do. Why? We can do it ourselves. We're allowed to do our own thing.
We're allowed an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, think about the wheel. If you can't make a new one, just reinvent it and make it better. So
there you go.
You can't throw some grease on it so it spins faster. So
you betcha. All right.
But no, But yeah, thank everyone for listening. Please comment, subscribe. Maybe we'll eventually be on Spotify one day. Maybe we'll have a Patreon. We can beg for Patreon money eventually, but for right now, we appreciate we appreciate everybody listening. We love our Star Wars. I don't want to say I'm not a casual fan, but I'm also not like the hardcore book readers like Zach is.
Wow.
But we appreciate all those who may or may not be listening to this. Whether it's for 5 minutes or an entire lifetime, we appreciate you listening to this podcast.